pleasant good morning to everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Carlos Brown Show, right here on the Black College Sports Network. Yours truly, Carlos Brown. Here's what's coming up on the show. I simply call it the guest menu for January the 13th. Charles Edmonds joins us for the entire show. Following Charles will be Coach Vann Pettaway in hour number one. A.D. Willa Brown joins us in hour number two, and Robens Beauplan, former Southern University punter. His eligibility is up. Boy, I wish you had him a couple of more seasons, but he'll join us in hour number two. Here's simply what's trending on the Carlos Brown Show. Southern University basketball, both on the women's and the men's side, they got it done in the SWAC and conference opener. Texas Southern hires a new football coach, finally, but it's not who you think it would be. And then last but not least, under what's trending, number three, Andrew Body finds a new football home, and I must admit, it caught me by surprise. We'll talk about that and more on this week's edition of the Carlos Brown Show. Bring in Charles Edmonds and Coach Vann Pettaway. Gentlemen, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, you guys look very happy. Both are going to be on broadcast in SWAC basketball. So let's get right into it. What's trending? Southern University opens up the conference season with two big wins at home. Coach Pettaway and Charles, you want to start off on a good streak. The Jaguars got it done.
Yeah, they protected their home court, and that's what you want to do. A lot of times when you start the season off, that gets you off to a good start. But, I sort of predicted that Southern would be okay because, they had a great non-conference schedule, and they won some games during that non-conference schedule. So they basically had some momentum going into the conference season.
Well, keeping serve at home. That's the most important thing. And what else do we talk about? On the road. Trying to split those games, play 500. Good morning to everyone. I'm sorry about that. Good morning to everyone in the chat room as well. We appreciate you. Guys, Southern University 64-45 over Texas Southern. A 19-point victory leading the way. Genovia Johnson with 13 points. Charles, it seems like Genovia's been at Southern for about 5 years.
Yeah.
He's been there a while, but comes from an outstanding high school program. Won state championships there. Get a tournament championship last year with Southern University. She's a kind of equivalent, Coach Pettaway. You might find this interesting. Obi Trotter. She reminds me of Obi Trotter. I mean, wow, just very aggressive and just high IQ and just a very good basketball player.
Well, that's good. That's what you need a lot of times, especially at the guard position. You need somebody that can control the game, that can get their team into the right sets and control tempo. That's what you look for.
And then the second part of the home opener against Prairie View A&M, man, 84-56. And Charles, I'm just going to say this now, and I've gotten people that give me text messages, and I know some Prairie View alum, maybe a few watching right now. Man, Prairie View got hammered on the road, and it's tough. We always talk about how tough it is to win in this conference on the road, but boy, 2 blowouts on the road. But could Prairie View women be in a situation? No, Carlos, it's still early. We can't push the panic, but just disappointing blowout losses on the road.
Yeah, I think for Prairie View fans, I think it may be time a little bit to hit the panic button a little bit. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
no, Charles. I'm the one
Hey.
who panics. You're even Steven.
Well, I am even Steven until you're not even Steven. I mean, when you get your head handed to him like this, and look, the hire of Coach Pugh leaving Southern, going to Prairie View, you know what she did at Southern, but it has not panned out. And you start out conference with these two bad losses, and not just losing in the manner that you lose. I think there is some concern if you're a Prairie View fan. I mean, Coach Pugh's had the pieces. There's no doubt about it. I think she's good with getting talent, but do the pieces always fit? And I think right now you're looking at a team that is struggling to score, struggling to stop people. And that's not a good recipe. Coach Pugh likes to slow things down a little bit. And to have these losses in the manner, you're not scoring a lot, but you're giving up a lot. It's a little bit concerning this early in conference play.
Coach Pettaway, former coach in this league. What's the recipe? You don't panic, but you need to really get this thing straightened out quickly.
Right. If she hasn't had any major injuries and things like that, then there should be some concern, because when you look at the non-conference, they didn't do too well in the non-conference schedule. So that's a big indicator that you may not have the type of squad that you think that you do. So I think PV Nation, they do have to be concerned right now.
Yeah, I'm kind of monitoring the chat room. Edwin says, he said, I saw someone say that Prairie View, I guess women had out 3 players, but still, that's concerning. I mean, wow, just 2 blowouts on the road.
And I'm going to expand that a little bit, Carlos. You got new leadership in athletics at Prairie View A&M.
Director of athletics, yeah, that's what you mean, right?
And so you know how that goes, Carlos. Not saying anything's going to happen, but you know that when you have a new AD, they're looking at everything. And so, with conference play, you expect better play, and 2 blowout losses, even though you got some players out, that some people would look at it as that, some would look at it as something else. So that's just something to keep our eye on here as we go forward. But definitely a tough start for Prairie View for sure.
Yes, indeed. On the men's side, Southern University, their top scorer on the men's side did not play. Boy, they had to eke out a tough victory against Texas Southern, but they were able to get it done. Coach Johnson in his first conference game coaching in the SWAC, 58-51 over Texas Southern University. And then, boy, that guy, Teron Joseph, didn't start, but 21 points against Prairie View, and the Jaguars blow out Prairie View 79-58. And Prairie View, what's their staple, Coach Pettaway and Charles? Defense, defense. But, man, Southern University, I'm not surprised that they won, but I am going to say I'm surprised by winning by 21 points against an always, tough Prairie View A&M team.
Yeah, I think that was a big statement. But once again, you're at home, and remember I told you last week, I thought the Southern, with the way they've played, that they would probably be able to come out and protect their home court. And that's what you got to do, Carlos. If you got any hopes of trying to win a championship, you gotta win at home. And then if you just split on the road, that normally puts you in the top 3 or 4. So Southern did what they had to do, but you knew this was possible because of the way they played in the non-conference schedule. They played tough, man. They won some big ball games in their non-conference schedule. So we knew that the pieces were there. And then I think one of the other things that you can help look at when you talk about Southern, look at the production that he gets from his bench. That's what they're known for. He's so deep. And I remember talking to Coach Johnson about this. You got to be happy because you got so many people that are contributing on the team, and a lot of it comes from the bench. So when you have an injury or you get into foul trouble, you should not drop off that much because the kids are accustomed to playing with each other. They're accustomed to having those different rotations on the floor.
Carlos, there's nothing like confidence. There's nothing like confidence. And last year, Alcorn beat Wichita State, Stephen F. Austin in non-conference. That got a lot of conversation. And albeit we lost the first conference game last year like we did this year, we bounced back. But when you have that confidence that you can win away from home and hostile environments. The first year, coach, let it just let it fly. And I think that's what Southern is doing. I think, to me, from afar, Southern's playing with a lot of confidence. They're at home. They're exciting. And, winning is contagious. Losing is contagious. And when you win games like that, in the manner that they're winning, it's just going to do nothing but help the confidence of that whole program.
Well, I'll take that confidence, but I still will say, if Coach Johnson's on the show right now, I know he wouldn't be satisfied. Going on the road, can't look ahead, but then I'm looking ahead. Bethune-Cookman Monday night, but then before then, FAMU, even on the women's side, going on the road. Let's see. I feel good, but I don't want to be too ecstatic.
Yeah.
Because it's a long conference season that actually moves pretty fast if you look at it.
Yeah.
So with that, my school, my university, I guess I'm bragging a little bit there. So excuse me. Southern University gets it done on the road. Topic number 2 was trending. Whoa, Texas Southern University hires a new football coach. We're gonna
hallelujah.
Switch yeah, hallelujah. But I was just surprised. Charles, you dropped your head there. We got a few pieces before we get to our first timeout. But I got the release. 2-time NFL Pro Bowl selection, Chris Dishman comes to Texas Southern University after 13 successful years in the NFL and 19 years of coaching experience at the collegiate and professional levels. I'll just quickly go through this. He earned a bachelor's degree in criminal justice from Purdue University, was drafted by the Houston Oilers in 1988. He also played with Bubba McDowell at the Oilers. 8 years with the Oilers, 2 years with the Commanders and Kansas City Chiefs. Vice President for Intercollegiate Athletics, Dr. Kevin Granger, says Chris Dishman is an experienced football coach whose accomplishments as a player and coach makes him an excellent choice to lead our football program into the future. I'm kind of shocked, but now I will say this. From the outside looking in, somehow I always seem to like to say that. I'm surprised, but I'm just kind of feeling a certain kind of way for Coach McNair. Coach McNair now is without a job for right now. But rest assured, I think he will be somewhere in this conference pretty soon, if not 2025 or before then. And I'm kind of peeking the eye at Coach Vann Pettaway there. Huh. Alabama A&M. Why do I think that? Let me stop right there. Because Alabama A&M has a football coach. But Coach Pettaway, I wonder if there's any heat in Huntsville for one Coach Maynard.
Well, I haven't heard about any heat being on Coach Maynard, but
Coach Pettaway, I'm not trying to get you in trouble now.
Look, he just re-upped. Remember, he just re-upped 2 years ago. So
I understand.
And I'm gonna be honest now. Since I've been here at Alabama A&M, I know of only one time that a coach did not finish out his contract without where the university paid him, and that was Cooper. When Cooper left, he had about a year left on his contract, and they paid him off. So here at A&M, we're not used to buying out contracts. What they'll do is they'll wait it out. They'll go ahead and let your contract end where the university does not have a financial obligation. But I was just really surprised that Texas Southern took as long as they took. And then for this coach to seem like he came out of nowhere to get the job, it's going to be a wait and see. What kind of staff would he put together? It's good to have the NFL experience, but just because you played in the NFL doesn't mean it translate into being a coach. I think a lot of times, especially on the basketball side, we know of all these guys who were great basketball players, NBA players, but they didn't turn out to be great coaches. So just because you played the sport at the highest level that does not automatically make you a great collegiate coach or
Yeah.
coach, period. Yeah.
And Charles,
Yeah,
I'm
well,
looking in the chat room, and they're saying some of them say they just kind of knew it had to be someone of this caliber that they wanted this type of coach. Go ahead, Charles.
yeah. For me, it got kind of quiet after the whole
Mhm.
McNair and Andre Johnson thing. And I saw a post on social media a couple of weeks ago. Someone suggested I wouldn't be surprised if the TSU board went a totally different direction,
And
other
that's what
than what we expect. And it got quiet, crickets, and you kind of knew that something was coming down the pipeline. And who knew it was going to be Chris Dishman? I was shocked. I think a lot of people were.
Yeah,
You didn't
I
hear
did.
his name come out of the social media world, so they kept that one close to the vest.
yeah.
And so, hey, we'll see. I think Texas Southern was determined to get someone with some pro experience one way or the other. I think that I saw a comment there. I think they definitely have solved that, and we'll see. We'll see what Coach Dishman does. Looking forward to talking to him at media day. But I bowed my head because personally, knowing Coach McNair and knowing everything he's probably been through and how this has played out for him or hasn't played out for him, that's where my heart is. And just the fact
Right.
that how did what Coach McNair left out basically in the cold. And so that's why I hold my head down, because he's a young coach. He's in his mid-50s. He wants to get back in this thing, and we hope he does. But just to have that happen, and we don't know if really it was his gig. We don't. I mean, all that's still out there to be determined. But I just hate that for Coach McNair because of what he had here, and then what he didn't have there. Talking about TSU, if that's in fact the case. So that's why I held my head down, because I hate that for him personally. But TSU has a coach, and we'll see what happens.
Right. Well, now, Charles, the only thing that I didn't like about the whole situation, to me, if for Coach McNair to step down from Alcorn, that means that he felt pretty good that he had the job at Texas Southern. And I think somewhere along the way, I think it was implied that he did have that job, and that's part of the reason why he did step down from Alcorn. And I just think that's wrong, and I don't understand that, man. I don't understand that. And I know if on the legal side, I know he's got an attorney, I know he's got an agent. Somebody should be looking into that, because I know if I left a job, if I resigned from my job, one job, I wouldn't do it before I had assurance that I have another job. And so I think they might have to look at that. And then with Coach Dishman coming in there, the name I kept hearing was Andre Ward. And then remember they say Johnson withdrew his name. So that's just been a total fiasco out in Houston. And then something similar is happening down at FAMU. The athletic director, she's made a pick, and then the alumni and some people and maybe some board members are getting involved saying, no, we're not going that route right now. So it's kind of difficult out there to be a coach in today's society. Boy.
And an AD,
Well,
it's difficult right now to be an AD right now. What you talked about with AD Sykes as well as Dr. Granger. I mean, I because at the end of the day, if these coaches don't work out, who's going to be blamed? Whether right or wrong, the AD is that they're going to be pointing fingers at the AD, even though the AD might not have had a direct hand, but who's the overseer of athletics? The athletic director. So whether we like it or not, right or wrong, whether the AD was directly involved, maybe a little bit, maybe a lot, who knows? But if the football coach fails, they're going to point the finger at whom? Either
well,
the president and or the AD. So I think that's kind of where we are, and we'll see what happens.
Well, we're scheduled for a timeout, and let's do that because oh boy, I could go somewhere with that. But I'll come to a timeout. But I'll come back to that, and then Andrew Bonney finds a new football home. But let's take a timeout. When we come back, Charles, I have a commentary, a short one about who gets the blame. They'll point the blame everywhere but at themselves. That's what I've learned. And I've seen, being in this conference, in particular, Southern University, I'm not shocked at how all these things go. But let me take a time out. We'll come back. You're watching Carlos Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network.
Supermarket sushi, really?
No. Wait, Troy, you work here?
I'm never not working. Like Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology, up to 100% dandruff protection, even between washes.
Never not working, huh?
Oh, Troy, you're such a good teacher.
Yeah, I know. Never not working. Never not working. Never, ever not working.
Are you serious?
Never not working. Dandruff protection that's never not working. Head & Shoulders Scalp Shield technology.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids' apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
This is Brian Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Carlos Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network. Yours truly, Carlos Brown, Charles Edmonds, and Coach Vann Pettaway. Andrew Body finds a new home, Alabama State. Now, I'll just quickly say this. It seems to be an outstanding fit because if we look at Alabama State the last couple of years, we know defensively they've been very strong. But what have we kind of had a discussion on? Offensively, that was their shortcoming. Now, Andrew Body, a terrific athlete, terrific quarterback. Now, he comes in, and boy, I saw it on social media. He gets out of a nice, looks like SUV, pulling up to Montgomery, Alabama. And once again, as in the case of Dishman and Body, I'm never really shocked or surprised too much, but twice in the same period, I was surprised, Charles.
Yes, definitely surprised. I'm here in Montgomery, and I'll get some of the temperature of the room as the day goes on. But I'm happy for Andrew Body. He landed. He's here, and you're right. The biggest question for Alabama State hasn't been the defense; it's been quarterback play. They've had a quarterback or two transfer out, so we'll see what kind of scheme and system that Andrew Body gets in front of him, and will his skill set fit the scheme and system they have here? Because we've seen flashes of good things from Body. Now, I know on social media there are a lot of people that say Andrew Body, he just don't impress individuals at all. I've seen, there are people that say Andrew Body to me ain't it. Yeah, oh yeah. If you just look through the comments, people are saying Andrew Body just don't do it for them. That's just individual opinion. But
I wonder where they are Charles, are they? I wonder if that's some people that are expressing that are some their team in the conference is not Texas Southern Alabama State. If you get my drift,
I get it. And even when he was at Texas Southern, there's some people that liked him, some that said, you know what, they just don't see it. And I think that's what you're saying now. Some people say they just don't see it, but hey, a fresh start is a fresh start. I think we've seen some of the tools when he's healthy. And so, for Alabama State, I'm not completely sold that they're ready to make that push towards the Eastern Division. I mean, they were inconsistent last year. Here, they lose to Miles. They beat Southern. They give the Alcorn game away. They lose to Prairie View. They beat they beat A&M, a Hail Mary. I mean, so I don't know what to expect from Eddie Robinson's team, but maybe Body will help them get over the hump. Who knows? I'm not ready to anoint them in that top tier of the Eastern Division quite yet, but it's a nice pickup, and we'll see how it fits into the scheme and system.
Yeah, but gentlemen, don't you all think that this year, with Body going over there to Alabama State, even before he made that move, I think the SWAC championship was up in the air anyway. I mean, with Coach leaving Florida A&M, there's no clear-cut favorite. You know, this thing is wide open, and now Coach McNair is not at Alcorn, so this thing is wide open. Whoever can come out of spring practice and out of fall camp without a lot of injuries, I think that'll be the team that'll probably end up winning in when it comes to football, because there's no clear-cut favorite in my eyes now. I don't see it.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, Coach, because you don't know what Jackson State's been kind of quiet. You know, they got to retool that roster with all the Deion's players leaving and some transferring out now. They got to find a serviceable quarterback. FAMU, you know, no more Musa. We'll see what happens there. So you're right. I mean, the East is really the whole SWAC. The East and West is wide open. You don't know what Prairie View's got, even though they won the West. So I agree with you. The West is wide open as well as the East. But, you know, I just think that Body can be a difference maker if everything fits well offensively for Alabama State.
Well, I was just saying it was a good fit. Now, Coach Pettaway and Charles, I did not crown Alabama State up at the top. I didn't even mention who, because as you stated, it's so many things that have to take place before even the season gets. I just strictly put it that seems to be a great fit based on what Alabama State was kind of lacking offensively. Guess what? I'm going to be brutally honest. If he made the choice to come to Southern University, and he did mention about, you know, hey, the excitement there, guess what? I'm throwing my hands up. I'm excited.
Mm-hmm.
Would I say Southern would win a championship? No, but I'll say that anyway. I expect the championship every year. I'm delusional, I know. Pettaway, if Andrew Body chose Alabama A&M, I bet you Alabama A&M alum would be happy with that choice.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, Charles, for those who said, oh, well, you're not impressed, I'm impressed because I saw firsthand what he did to Southern University.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'll leave it there. That, to me, on paper, seems to be a good pickup for Alabama State.
And look, the last time we saw Body at Spinks Castle Stadium on our homecoming, you know, we had a bunch of turnovers, but Body was very manageable then. So yes, we've seen some good things from Body. We've seen glimpses of good things. And you know, for Alabama State folks, I'm sure they're hoping to see a lot more of those good things here in Montgomery.
Well, very, very a good pickup for Alabama State. So Southern basketball wins in their conference opener. They kept serve at home. Texas Southern hires a new football coach. I think we all kind of surprised at who they chose, but Dr. Granger, hey, now gets it done. Now, before we went to that break, you say if it doesn't work out, right, Charles? Coach Pettaway, let's look at it. Who's going to get the blame? We know who's going to get fired, the head football coach, if it doesn't work out. So the AD has a part in it as well, right? Although, let's look at it, Coach Pettaway. Go ahead, Coach Pettaway. Go ahead.
No. In this case, if I was at Texas Southern, if I was Coach Dr. Granger, no, this was not on me because you turned my guy down. I gave you my choice. So if this does not work, this is on you all. That's on the president and those board members. They did not accept his choice.
Right. That's true. But guess what? They're not gonna get let go. They're not gonna fire themselves. So it's gonna go back to the AD. So that brings up the question. And again, I use for an example. At one point, Coach Baines came on the show and said he had the ability to make a direct hire. Now, this time, I don't think that was the case. Dr. Granger, He had his original choice. That didn't work out. They went to another direction, right? So I'm saying this. I guess I'm being facetious. If an AD, if it's in a job title to make the hires and he goes before the board and let them go through the process of letting them know what they're doing, then it should be on the AD. But in a lot of cases, it's not. And we see that. I'm agreeing with you, Coach Pettaway. I'm agreeing with you.
Well, Wheeler Brown said it a few weeks ago, and I think he gave a pretty good scenario how sometimes the AD has to fall on the sword. And there may be situations where he may disagree with the administration and vice versa. But at the end of the day, the AD has to go along with the recommendation of his superiors. So at the end of the day, I think that if this does not work out, just like at Florida A&M, the biggest hire that they'll ever have to make to this point in their athletic history is this football coach. And I know we're kind of pivoting on that, but when it doesn't work out, as far as a football coach at a football school, you're only going to get so many bites at the apple in hiring a football coach, because at some point they're going to blame the AD, and the AD is the one, even though there's a board and there's levels to all of it. Unfortunately, the AD is going to be the fall person, whether we like it or not. So I think, I know Coach Pettaway believes that it's the board, but as you said, Carlos, the board's not going to recuse themselves. They're part of the process. They're going to blame someone when the heat's on them. And who are they going to blame? It's either going to be the president and or the AD, one of the two, if not both.
So the coach gets fired, the AD in some cases get fired, but Coach Pettaway, we know, and they will say they don't get involved in the day-by-day operations. That is proven to be a lie,
right?
In most cases.
And Carlos, they got receipts now. Granger has receipts. He knew who he wanted. He was put on hold by the board.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to evaluation about this new hire, I will make sure that it's well known, well documented, that this was not my choice. You all overruled my choice, and they need to fall on the sword this time.
Yep.
We know it's not going to happen, but,
no, but they won't do it.
But in the public eyes, they know that Granger wanted to go in a different direction, and he appeased them by going along with them.
Yeah. We were being facetious on one of the shows saying, well, you know what, just eliminate the director of athletics, just eliminate the position. I think Wheeler Brown brought it up because if you're not allowed to do what you need to do, then why have it? Why have it? But back to Coach McNair. I think he will land. Somebody in the chat room said you're starting mess, Carlos. Yeah, I was. I'm guilty. I was trying to see if Coach Pettaway would fall for the bait, but he wouldn't.
Fall for those who don't.
Yeah, he wouldn't. But I could see him somewhere. I could see him in Huntsville. I could see him in different places. I don't think, just my personal opinion, I don't think he will be out of a job long. And look, in the chat room, people have been texting me, man, would Coach Graves hire him as an offensive coordinator? I don't know. Pride is a big thing. And what I mean by this, Coach Pettaway, he's been a head coach. He's been a position coach. He's been a coordinator. It may be best for him to just, and I don't know financially the situation, to just sit out a year and just observe, and then, find another head coaching job. I think he will get it, but I don't know if he would accept being an offensive coordinator anywhere.
Right, but a lot of times you have to put set your ego aside. See, that's just like me. Mm-hmm. People ask me, would I have ever gotten back into coaching? Yeah, and it wouldn't have to be a head coaching position. I would be an assistant.
Yeah.
In the right situation.
Okay.
I would do that. You have to put. You're not going to always be a head coach, and you have to remember that. And then, like with me, I started out as an assistant, so my ego is not in my way. If I wanted to get back in coaching and there was a right opportunity as an assistant, I would take that. But in Coach McNair's case, I think his resume is to the point where I'm like you. He will be back in coaching. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I would hope that if a coordinator position came open, he would accept that until he can get, to get a head coaching job. But this in this day and time, you can't have an ego, man.
Yeah.
You cannot have an ego. That's just like, look at all the different coaches that were head coaches that went down and tutored under Coach Saban at Alabama. This man has resurrected careers of countless of head coaches by bringing them in as analysts, working up under him, finding out how he's doing things, and then they leave him and go back and get a great job. Yeah. So ego, you got to put that ego down.
I think personally, Carlos and Coach Pettaway, I think Coach McNair, either way it goes, I think he's fine. I think just the nature of how this went down, I think he'll probably emotionally step back for a minute, but he's a coach. And when you're a coach and you're young, I mean, he's in his 50s. He's nowhere close to being done. I think that grind and just that athletic itch, regardless of what sport it is, you want to stay in that until something tells you that you're not. So I do think Coach wants to get back in it. There was rumors out there way back that maybe Coach McDowell at Prairie View was looking for an OC or something like that. That was out there on social media for a second or two. Don't know if there's anything to that, but I think Coach wants to get back in it, but he's got to heal from what has just happened. Because I guarantee you it's hurtful for what has happened to him in this situation. And how do you move past that and get ready for the next phase of your life? That's going to be the important thing. But I do think McNair wants to stay in it. I think his record speaks for himself. Yep. And I think he will land. It's just a matter of where and when.
No doubt about it. I'm very confident in that. We're going to take a timeout. Coach Pettaway, we have you for the rest of the hour. When we come back, we'll kind of go into our SWAC basketball report, recap some big games, look at the schedule for this week, and then pick out the game of the week for Saturday and even Monday. I'm very interested in a game Monday, but some good games as well. We'll take a timeout. You're watching the Carlos Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network.
We're back. It's time for the 2024 Urban NerdCon. Join us in Atlanta, Georgia, April 26th through the 28th at the Cortland Grand Hotel. Special guests include Underworld creator Kevin Grievous, Gary Gray from Fairly Odd Parents, from Nickelodeon, Giovanni Samuels, the Science Machine Michael Green, the Sci-Fi Sisters, and from Spaceballs and Star Trek Voyager, Tim Russ.
Hi, I'm Tim Russ. Join me April 26th through the 28th at the Cortland Grand Hotel in Atlanta, Georgia for the Urban NerdCon. Our heroes, our villains, our stories, everyone con. I'll see you there. Live long and prosper.
Visit theurbannerdcon.net to get your buy one, get one free badges before the price increases. Remember, our heroes, our villains, our stories, everyone's con. See you there.
Time to call a credit repair company to fix my credit. Hold the phone, man. You can do it yourself with Credit Versio. That's way too hard. Call the credit repair company. Most credit repair companies only work on 1 or 2 accounts at a time, making it slow and expensive. You won't figure that out for months. Ignore him. Credit Versio's brilliant software scans all 3 credit bureaus, finds the accounts that are hurting your score, and guides you through the entire process. Anyone can do it. Let's fast forward and see the results. Wow, I fixed my own credit and saved hundreds. You can do this. Visit creditversio.com.
T. Madden & Associates is a sophisticated and experienced law firm located in your neighborhood. We're turning injury to cash.
T. Madden and Associates obtained almost $2 million for my injury. They turned my injury to cash.
Now, we can't guarantee how much your injury is worth, but we've recovered millions for our clients.
Call T. Madden & Associates at 833-PAID-123. That's 833-PAID-123.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties. Through its programs, Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and parenting education coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentjax.
Thank you guys for what you do for HBCU athletics. This is a fantastic avenue for all of us. This is our ESPN, so we love what you guys do. Brian, AD, Roy, all you guys at BCSN. We really appreciate what it is that you guys do for us.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Carlos Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network. I'm smiling now because Willa Brown has joined us, AD Willa Brown. Willa, before we get into SWAC basketball recap, basketball report, somehow I get the feeling you have something to say.
Well,
but good morning, sir.
I can say this: the conversation was lively. There's no doubt about that. And while I would agree with Coach Pettaway in terms of who should take the heat at Texas Southern, we all know, like I said in previous shows, that Granger's going to have to own the pick. And, at the end of the day, it's his pick, and it's going to fall on him if it's not successful. But I think right now it's a recipe for disaster. No ifs, ands, and buts about that. And if I'm Granger, before all this went down, and the same thing with the girl at FAMU. Sometimes you got to campaign for why you're going in the direction that you're going. And Granger's defense, my thing is I would have harped on the head coaching experience. And to me, that would have been the deal breaker, the bottom line at the end of the day. These kids deserve somebody that has been in that seat before, that knows left from right, that sort of thing. And, I'm doing them a disservice if I bring someone in who's A, never been a head coach before, B, never been a coordinator before, so they really have no idea in terms of not just football, Carlos. We all know football. We all know X's and O's, offenses, defenses, and all that sort of thing. The thing that gets us in trouble is the issues outside of football, outside of the X's and O's. APR and recruiting and grades and the things of that nature. What happens if a kid blows up the dorm at 3 a.m? Just those hypotheticals, that really make or break, a head coach. And, same thing at FAMU. If I'm the AD at FAMU, I would have floated Gibbs' name out there ahead of time, just to kind of test the water. Sometimes you got to stick your toe in the water, see how cold it is before you jump in. It just seems like to me, maybe she just jumped in. This my guy. This is who I want to go with. That sort of thing. But sometimes you got to bounce these things off of people that you trust, people that you know, people that are in the know, and kind of get a feel for what they think, as opposed to I'm the AD. This is the way I'm going, and this is going to be it. I mean, I know that there's some smoke over two guys that are at FAMU that the kids want, that sort of thing. Number one, the kids don't run the program, and neither do the alums. But while you want to listen to what the kids have to say, there's no doubt about that. But you want to put out there what your criteria is. And the fact of the matter is, I think you guys would be better served with a person who's been a head coach before, on the college level, not necessarily a high school head coach, but somebody that's been around the block for a little bit, that sort of thing. And, I just think that's a better fit for you guys. And ultimately, you'll probably see it the same way as time moves on. So, I mean,
Interesting.
It's just, it's just tough all the way around, but the Dishman hire at Texas Southern, I mean, if that didn't come out of left field or the pitcher's batter's box or whatever, whatever.
That's a good one.
I mean,
out of the bleachers.
Came from the bullpen. We didn't know who they were bringing in.
that had board of trustees written all over it.
But being in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, I've seen these type of things happen. So I'm not shocked. I'm not surprised. But I guess I will say this, guys, it's 2024. And some of the same things you've seen that you saw back in 1994 and 2004, as far as committees and selecting a coach, AD makes a recommendation. But before then, the committee, it could be 3 or 4, a small committee. They go through the process. They make the recommendations, give it to the chancellor. Chancellor doesn't like it. And so says, start it over again. And then all of a sudden, you were shown candidate 1, 2, and 3. Then candidate 4 comes out of the bullpen. Nobody likes him. And then not only does he come out the bullpen, he gets the number 1 position in the pitching rotation. And so there you have it.
Yeah.
And you sit there, and then as you guys have stated, when something goes wrong, Joe, the AD is gonna fall on.
Oh, no doubt about it.
He's gonna fall on. But then there's guys in the small rooms. Well, not small rooms, big rooms, and they're lavish. Meaning the board of regents, board of supervisors. They're gonna turn their head. They weren't involved in it. So ultimately, Dishman, I wish him the best in Texas Southern, because guys, a lot of times people always ask me, you're in one of the largest cities in the country. The population is huge. Why not consistent success? I can't answer that. I may have to ask Dr. Cavill about that one.
Well, I can, Carlos. I can answer that.
I can answer part of that too. I can answer part of that because of recruiting. The kids that grew up in Houston, they want to get away from home. They don't want to stay there.
Get away from home. Exactly.
Right. They do not want to stay there. So that eliminates Texas Southern.
Exactly.
They've been there 17, 18 years. They've been under mom and daddy's reign this whole time. I need life. I need to get away from here. So Texas Southern is not an option. Because has nothing to do with Texas Southern and what they have or don't have. It's just that I grew up in Houston all my life. It's time for me to go somewhere else, experience something else.
Well,
because
Coach Pettaway.
the same thing happens right here in Huntsville, Alabama.
And Baton Rouge.
Coach, why don't we
Everywhere.
get more kids from Huntsville? Because they don't want to stay. They've been with mom and dad, and they're trying to get away from them.
But
And we're the collateral damage because they don't want to stay in this city, so therefore they don't come to Alabama A&M. Same way in Baton Rouge, same way everywhere, Wheeler.
Yeah, you want to make sure that you have a relationship with those kids, because probably about 60 to 70% of them are going to wind up coming back home.
Come home.
That's
Yep.
Through the portal. And if you've already laid the foundation, look, I know it wasn't your first choice, but at the end of the day, if you don't like it where you are, you want to come back, know that I'm going to welcome you with open arms, la-di-da, so forth and so on. And, a lot of times you may get some of those kids on the back burner.
Yep, that's true.
Well, we have the situation. We're in a situation just the opposite of Wheeler Brown and Coach Pettaway, Huntsville, Alabama, Jackson, Mississippi. We're talking about Lorman, Mississippi. Destiny Brown is one of the best centers in the Southwestern Athletic Conference on the female side. Destiny Brown is from Los Angeles. Destiny Brown loves Alcorn State University. It's a rural environment. Destiny has told me and others that she just, she wants to get away from LA. Now, I would love to go to LA, but Destiny Brown loves the slow pace of things. She loves it at Alcorn State University. So that, to you all's point, that's kind of, it works the other way for us because we have kids in Port Gibson, Fayette, Natchez, Vicksburg. They want to get away. I mean, even though some parents are really urging their kids to stay local, many of them aren't. But there's some kids from New York. We got a kid on our team from Brooklyn, New York, that loves Alcorn. So I mean, it works both ways.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna say this then. That happens in Houston. That happens in Huntsville. Happens in Baton Rouge. So it's not foreign. But I still go back, and then we'll move on. But I still go back. With that being the case, still, if it's happened in other places, why other places had a little bit more success than Texas Southern?
Well, I think Texas Southern is bit by its more recent history, because I mean, at the end of the day, Carlos, if you haven't won in a while, you've gotten that loser tag kind of stuck, to your behind, that sort of thing and stuff. And, it's going to take a kid that wants to rise to that particular challenge, kids that feel, I can be the one to help turn this around and get it moving in the direction that it needs to go in. Ultimately, it's going to take those kind of kids to come in, not just one kid, but, one kid kind of starts the snowball rolling downhill. And, but that's what it's going to take, so, it's not a 1 year fix, because it's not a 1 year problem. This is a problem that's kind of like historic, so it's going to take a monumental effort in terms of trying to turn that narrative around, in terms of getting those kids in that area to kind of buy in one at a time.
Well, it's interesting, Wheeler. Someone in the chat room just said Texas Southern is a basketball team. I mean, a program. They're known more for their basketball. I couldn't disagree with that. I mean, they've had some success in baseball. That's their mantra, basketball. But I didn't mean to start mess, but I just wondered why not success when you the third or second largest city in the country, a rich high school talent in the whole state in Houston. But you guys have explained it. I just want to know.
At the end of the day, you got to find a way. At the end
get
of the
it
day,
done.
you got to find a way. If you got 63 full scholarships, if you got a good budget in terms of recruiting, things of that nature, where you can go out and find kids, that sort of thing, while you would like for them to be local kids for the most part, if they're not, that's okay. As long as I got the resources to go out there and find them and get them, if I got to go to the West Jablipli, to find that quarterback that's going to get me over the hump, then I need to be there front and center, and look to bring those kind of kids in while I continue to cultivate my home base and ultimately start to get that turned around. Because nothing turns it around like winning, and
Winning cures everything.
regardless of where they're coming from. If they start winning, then the local population is going to start to take notice, and at some point in time, they're going to buy in and want to be a part of it also.
Texas Southern basketball, a great example of that.
Mm-hmm.
On that note, we'll stop it there because we're going to lose Coach Pettaway here in a minute. Last week, Alabama State over Mississippi Valley State, 54-51. Grambling State defeats Prairie View A&M 69-63. This was January the 6th. Bethune-Cookman over FAMU in the rivalry game, 98-86. Jackson State defeats Alcorn State 88-80. Alabama A&M over UAPB 63-62. And it was Southern over Texas Southern 58-51. January the 8th, Alabama State over UAPB 83-72. Texas Southern bounces back and beats Grambling State 54-53. It was Alabama A&M over Valley 78-70 and Southern over Prairie View A&M 79-58. And then I didn't know Thursday they had a couple of games, but Alcorn State over Alabama A&M 74-71. And I was told Wheeler, Coach Pettaway and Charles they painted the town in Huntsville. they had a great time together. And it was Jackson State over Alabama State 73-63. Coach Pettaway, quickly, thoughts on last week's games and Thursdays?
Well, I'll start with the Thursday game. I thought Alcorn came in here on the women's side. I'm going to start with the women first. Mm-hmm. Coaches had a lot of injuries coming into it for Alcorn, but his women played a great basketball game. Alabama A&M's women's team pulled away late to win that game on the women's side. So my hat's off to Coach Richards and her team. And then when it came time to the men, I knew that the defense was going to tell a story in that game. And in that game, Alcorn State's defense, they proved the difference because they turned Alabama A&M over. They made sure that they limited us to one shot. They won the battle of the glass. And they forced turnovers and scored points off of turnovers. And that's why Alabama A&M came up short in that basketball game. And then down in Montgomery, of course, Jackson State, they tore it with Alabama State. The Alabama State men's team would pull close. And then Jackson State, they were just too strong, and they pulled away from it in that game.
Yeah, well, it's a long season, Coach Pettaway, but you're kind of seeing some things trending and what to watch for. But the race is not won by the swiftest, but the one who endures. It's going to be competitive both on the women and the men's side. But, boy, I guess on the women's side, I'm just shocked that Prairie View A&M just got taken to the woodshed. Both games, Jackson State women seem to be strong. Southern University makes a statement, but plenty to go. Wrap it up for us, Coach Pettaway, because I know you got to get out of here.
On the women's side today, Carlos, I'm interested to see what Grambling does down at Bethune-Cookman on the women's side. I think that's going to be a big game. And then also here in Huntsville with Jackson State, our ladies play well at home. They've only lost one game in 2 years in here. So I'm interested to see if they will put up the fight against against Jackson State's women. And that's today. And then on Monday, of course, Southern, your women, the Jaguars go into Bethune-Cookman. That'll be the game of the week. That'll be the game on Monday on the women's side. And then when you look at the men's side, let me get it to switch over here real quick. I'm looking forward to once again Grambling down at Bethune. Are the Bethune-Cookman men? Are they for real? Grambling is a team that will be able to let us know whether or not they're real. And at the same time, Southern is on the road. They've won their 2 games at home. Can they go on the road in the SWAC and win at FAMU? That's the game that I'll be looking for today. Another interesting game today will be Jackson State here at Alabama A&M. And as I speak, Alabama A&M is on the floor now. And then, of course, on Monday, Alabama A&M and Alabama State will be playing down in Mobile. And then Southern will be, your men Southern will be at Bethune-Cookman. And that'll be a very interesting game because, Bethune-Cookman's men had a very, very productive non-conference schedule. They did a great job in non-conference. So will that translate to conference wins? We will find out this weekend because they got Grambling and Southern coming into Bethune, into Daytona Beach. So I think I don't think there's a clear-cut favorite, going into the season. On the women's side, they got Jackson State where they're showing that they still have a good team. And I'll get a chance to see them firsthand here in a few minutes. But on the men's side, the preseason, they picked Texas Southern. I don't know. Texas Southern is struggling right now. And so on the men's side, it's wide open. It's wide open. Grambling has so many new faces. They got Jalen Johnson down there who's playing the post for him, and he's doing pretty good now. And I knew if Coach Jackson got his hands on him, that he would turn him back into the stud that he was before he left the conference. So he's rounding into shape, rounding into their offense. So it's going to be interesting on the men's side for the rest of the season.
Well, Coach Pettaway, we look forward to talking with you next week and get your take on all of the action. I'll just say one word: defense.
Yep.
Defense. The teams that can play defense, let's see where they're at the halfway point.
Right. Defense travels. See, defense will go on the road. If you can play defense, see, that's what I was so impressed about. I'm going to go back to Coach Bussey. I just like the guy because of the defensive pressure that he applies to teams. And, man, to sit there on that sideline and watch him play 6 or 7 different defenses in one game, Carlos, it made me want to get back in coaching, man, because that's what I like. I like seeing people do that. And Coach Bussey came in here and did that. And I told him after the game, too. I congratulated him because I did get a chance to talk to him before the game. And I told him then, I said, Coach, you remind me so much of myself with your style of coaching. And then, man, to watch that team in person, as long as his defense stays strong, he's going to be in it, man.
Well, I'm already set to go to the budget director and try to make a trip. With my health condition now, I got to be careful. But guess what? I know for a fact that Alcorn can't wait to see Coach Johnson and Southern coming to the arena. And you're talking about 2 defensive-minded coaches.
Yep.
I may have to see if I can get Willard from Baltimore to come down. That's going to be interesting. Coach Pettaway, have a great broadcast. We'll talk with you next week. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, guys.
All righty. Well, I missed my top of the hour timeout, so I'll have to beg producer emeritus Melanie to not put me in the timeout room. We'll take a timeout. We're going to add another guest, Robens Beauplan, and we still have some more SWAC basketball, and then we'll talk with him. His collegiate days is over with, but I've been impressed with this young man. He's still helping recruit kickers and punters everywhere, and he continues to support Southern University with talking with young men and women that want to further their collegiate career. That and much more coming up. And by the way, Morehouse and Allen University at 2 p.m. right here on the Black College Sports Network. You feel free to watch it at mybcn.net. It's where they can watch. Will, that's some good conference play there. Morehouse and Allen. You kind of know about that scenario, that setting. between those universities. But we'll come back. You're watching the Carlos Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network.
The Cuvée Group is a Florida-based marketing and training consulting firm. We help businesses communicate to their target audience and engage them in conversation. We also help to expand their audiences, which will ultimately result in growth for those organizations. In addition to being a certified constant contact specialist, my colleagues and I are also certified in John Maxwell Leadership Principles. We use these proven principles to conduct workshops, training, and private coaching sessions for individuals and companies looking to take things to the next level. Contact us to schedule a free consultation. Issues today, don't delay, call Cuvée.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge, featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. That's www.slowburnwaco.com.
We're back. It's time for the 2024 Urban NerdCon. Join us in Atlanta, Georgia, April 26th through the 28th at the Cortland Grand Hotel. Special guests include Underworld creator Kevin Grievous, Gary Gray from Fairly Odd Parents, from Nickelodeon, Giovanni Samuels, The Science Machine, Michael Green, the Sci-Fi Sisters, and from Spaceballs and Star Trek Voyager, Tim Russ.
Hi, I'm Tim Russ. Join me April 26th through the 28th at the Cortland Grand Hotel in Atlanta, Georgia for the Urban NerdCon. Our heroes, our villains, our stories, everyone con. I'll see you there. Live long and prosper.
Visit theurbannerdcon.net to get your buy one, get one free badges before the price increases. Remember, our heroes, our villains, our stories, everyone's con. See you there.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Carlos Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network. Joined by Charles Edmonds of the Alcorn State Radio Network, Willa Brown. Willa, before the show is over, I got to ask you a pointed question I want to answer. It's kind of NFL playoffs. Baltimore Ravens. You don't have to answer right now, but before the show's over with. Super Bowl champions 2024? Think about it before you answer it. Oh, well, now you gotta turn your mic open.
No, sir.
All the way.
Rams in Baltimore. How about that?
Yeah.
Well, I can't say anything because my NFL team fans are trying to raise money to put on a bulletin board in New Orleans about fire Dennis Allen.
Yeah.
So I don't have a dog in the hunt now. Another year, another disappointment.
Yeah.
We shall see. Back to SWAC basketball. And by the way, Robens Beauplan, he will join us in a few minutes here on the Carlos Brown Show. But Charles and Wheeler, the basketball race, it's going to be interesting. And once again, you've got to take care of business at home and then try to at least split or play 500 above on the road. That recipe will never change in this conference. And as Coach Pettaway put it, some important games this Saturday and Monday. And by the way, Martin Luther King holiday this Monday. Let's not forget the man, but also his mission in life. That still his dream. It still needs some work, and it's not finished yet. So I just kind of wanted to say that and mentioning that. But this SWAC basketball race, guys, it's going to be interesting to follow throughout the conference race. And before you know it, we talk about it being, a long race, but man, that time moves quickly. Before you know it, it'll be tournament time.
Absolutely. And just you're talking about trying to defend your crown, the regular season co-champs Grambling. And we won our first game, Carlos, in 63 days the other night.
Oh, you were excited. I caught the last few minutes. You were excited about it.
3 days the last time we won a basketball game.
Wow.
And we did it. Yeah, we did it I think it was November the 8th was the last time we won a game. And that was against Xavier of Louisiana. So that was our first D1 win. That was our first win in 63 days. We'll take it. But it is a slog. And this Alcorn team kind of reminds me of TSU last year. TSU started out 0-5, even though we're not going to start that. It's about what happens in late February and into March. If you're peaking at that time and playing well at that time, no one thought Texas Southern was even going to get in the tournament last year, and they did, and you saw what happened. I think this Braves team's not there yet. I think defensively still got some work to do. We got enough scoring, but right now just being tough and having the right attitude day in and day out, every practice. Landon Bussey just is so focused and so strong and so determined with every practice, every shoot around. You got to have that tough mindset. We're not there yet. It was a good start the other night, but we'll see. I mean, I think for us, we're getting a lot of our road games out of the way. We got 3 in a row on the road. We're playing the 2 of the 3. We got to go to Florida in a couple of weeks. So the schedule flips, and the team that can take care of home, split on the road, will be right there at the end, I think, for the regular season.
And Wheeler, quietly as it kept, although it's early, I was impressed with Jackson State men.
Yeah.
I mean, we know about the women, but the men.
Mo's doing a good job. He's doing a good job. I was surprised because, just based off his Alabama State resume, I wasn't looking for too much, coming from him. But just seems like he's done a decent job of, trying to turn that thing around.
Here's what's scary about that, Wheeler Brown. Their best player is out for the year. They got a transferred Ruffin, who was really good at Ole Miss. Things didn't work out there. Transferred to Jackson State. I think he hurt his knee, blew out his knee, and he's done for the year. And yet Jackson's got all this scoring. They've got scoring that they're not using because they're hurt, and yet they still can find a way to score. So I think Williams, I think he's getting very comfortable, and they got a lot of weapons. They got a lot of weapons they can throw at you. So they're going to be a tough out.
Wow.
And I like where Southern is at. When we had Coach Johnson on, he said, look, they could have picked us 6th, 7th, or 8th. But quietly, I put Southern and Jackson State kind of in the same category. Let's see what success they have when they go on the road. But for Southern University, not a lot of expectations from the prognosticators. Yours truly, I always expect top performances and top finishes, but that's just me. Sometimes I'm delusional. I understand. I understand, but I kind of like where they are, and in the non-conference. And even if Willa Brown was the AD, we knew they would have had a tough schedule in non-conference. They were able to get some good victories in there. But overall, both on the men's and women's side, it's really nice that they've got some good quality non-conference wins. And let me quickly move to the women's side. Southern impressive wins, but Jackson State and UAPB got to watch them. I mean, they have been done, and then Bethune-Cookman women.
Yeah.
Oh boy, it's gonna be some good finishes and good competition through this conference season.
I would say on the women's side, Carlos, Jackson State, they don't have the Amisha Williams holiday. They don't have that go-to, but they got a lot of depth. They've got a lot of depth, and this is probably the deepest team that their coach has had in a long time, and they can just beat you in a lot of different ways. So they're going to be a tough out, but you can't discount what Coach Brown has done at UAPB, beating Arkansas and doing some other good things.
Arkansas State.
I think that Jackson. I've heard some fans say if they got the time and the money, they would love to see that Jackson State UAPB game, whether in Pine Bluff or in Jackson. That's going to be one of the games of the year on the women's side in the SWAC.
Can't wait to see that. But Willa, I always say the team that is consistent throughout the regular season. I'm big on regular season. Tournament championship, no, okay, it's good. But I don't get the excitement like in the regular season. A team that can overcome adversity, because you're going to have some during the season, but the most consistent team will get it done. We talk about defense win championships in football, rightly so, but in basketball at some point too, that holds true. You got to play great defense, but you got to be able to put that ball in the hole at certain times.
Right, you're exactly right. I've always said half-court offense and half-court defense wins championships on the basketball level. Because playoff time, the pace slows. You don't see as much fast break, as like you do during the regular season. Teams cherishing every possession, on both the offense and the defensive ends of the floor. And you got to come ready to play.
Very much so, because you can't go up and down. I know you have a style that you want to be up tempo, but can you, when it gets down to the nitty gritty, it's kind of like in football, you get in that red zone. Can you be efficient enough to get it done? On the basketball court, Charles, can you get that tough basket when you need to be? Can you make that stop?
Yeah.
Can you even go to the free throw line in a pressure situation and make 2 free throws to win the ball game?
Yeah.
Those are some of the things you just have to do. Consistency.
Yeah, I would say offensively, as far as consistency, I mean, it's only been a couple of games, but Jackson State's got the scoring, but can they stop people? We didn't get it done offensively, and defensively for that matter. We gave up 88 points. That's the most the most points we've given up in a SWAC game under Landon Bussey since his first year, which was the COVID year. And so we know it's about defense, but Jackson State's got scoring all over the lot. And some nights they're going to be on fire, but if you can slow them down just a little bit and be a little bit efficient offensively, you got a shot. But Jackson's got a lot of pieces for sure.
On that note, we'll take a quick timeout, and we'll transition to our next guest. During the break, I'll look into the chat room. Boy, chat room is busy. It is busy. But we appreciate everyone tuning in and having a conversation in the chat room. More of the Carlos Brown Show after this timeout right here on the Black College Sports Network.
We're back. It's time for the 2024 Urban NerdCon, Join us in Atlanta, Georgia, April 26th through the 28th at the Cortland Grand Hotel. Special guests include Underworld creator Kevin Grievous, Gary Gray from Fairly Odd Parents, from Nickelodeon, Giovanni Samuels, the Science Machine Michael Green, the Sci-Fi Sisters, and from Spaceballs and Star Trek Voyager, Tim Russ.
Hi, I'm Tim Russ. Join me April 26th through the 28th at the Cortland Grand Hotel in Atlanta, Georgia for the Urban Nerd Con. Our heroes, our villains, our stories. Everyone con. I'll see you there. Live long and prosper.
Visit theurbannerdcon.net to get your buy one, get one free badges before the price increases. Remember, our heroes, our villains, our stories. Everyone's con. See you there.
Itchy, squirmy, scratchy, family not getting clean? Get Charmin Ultra Strong. Go get 'em! It just cleans better. With a diamond weave texture, your family can use less while still getting clean.
Goodbye, itchy squirm. Hello, cream bottom.
We all go. Why not enjoy the go with Charmin?
At Hampton Law, our primary goal is to provide non-traditional yet effective solutions and redefine the approach to client legal concerns. As your trusted legal advisor, we believe in sophisticated, personalized services that eliminate the confusion and complexity sometimes associated with legal matters. Our high standard for client care and concern, coupled with our extensive legal knowledge and skills, make Hampton Law a resource focused on the protection of the client's interest and overall goals. We value our clients and truly enjoy working with them. Visit thamptonlaw.com to conveniently schedule an appointment online. Tamika Hampton Esquire, 1631 Rock Springs Road, Suite 336, Apopka, Florida, 407-494-1471. thamptonlaw.com.
Nope. Nope.
Come on, him.
Ooh, I like him.
Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
From novice to aficionado, find yourself here. High quality cigars plus personal customer service. Slow Burn is Waco's only mobile cigar lounge, featuring a meticulous, curated collection of premium cigars. Visit our website, www.slowburnwaco.com. That's www.slowburnwaco.com.
Stride K-12 powered schools are ready to put over 20 years of being a leader in online education to work for you. Dive into curriculum design for the online classroom. Team up with state-certified teachers trained in virtual instruction. Take control of your child's education journey. Discover the power of personalized learning with a leader experienced in preparing kids for a future they can be excited about. Take charge. Stride K-12. Enroll now for the fall.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Carlos Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network. We're going to add another guest, Robens Beauplan, and Charles Edmonds. Don't go after him because I know you remember him from Alcorn State and then finishing up his career at Southern University. But I'm just kind of impressed. After his eligibility is up, I see him on social media, and he's still trying to help some young student athletes and special teams land a place, and also he's continuing to recruit, and I'll term it that way for Southern University. So we'll bring in Mr. Beauplan in 1 second here, but I just wanted to talk with him, get him back on. We had him on the show previously, and there he goes. Now, Mr. Beauplan, guess I should have called him that at his playing days. But, sir, how you doing?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
We're doing fine. Let me ask you this. Are you still practicing, exercising, keeping in shape, and do you plan on trying to extend your career maybe at the professional level?
Yes, sir. It doesn't stop, honestly. I mean, working out, I love doing that. And obviously, only God knows where my football career is going to end. I'd like to keep a positive mindset, try to keep going as long as I can. I know my college career is over with, but I still got the Legacy Bowl that's coming up in February. So I will be practicing and keep waiting for that.
Yes, sir. And look, that 2023 football season for Southern University, I'm sure it didn't end quite the way that you wanted to, but I'm sure you were able to, find some good things that happened for yourself personally and the team in 2023, your last collegiate football season at Southern University.
Yeah, honestly, we all have team goals, right? But let's be real, we also all have individual goals. There's some I didn't reach, honestly. That's one thing that I always stay in the back of my head is winning being on an all-SWAC team. I did. I felt that I was one, if not the best punter in the SWAC. But at the end of the day, everything goes about the stats. Unfortunately, I mean, I was top 3 in the SWAC for point yard average, but you only get 2 guys for all SWAC. But as far as the team goes, we all wanted to go to the SWAC championship, try to go repeat last year, because like last year we came out on the way. But unfortunately, this year it didn't end the way we wanted to. But there's still things that I do feel like we were closer this year as a team. Unfortunately, there was a lot of controversial things, but everything happens for a reason, honestly. So, I try not to stay negative and just see the positive in it. There's the good things. Even in the bad things, there's always a positive. So I just look in the positive.
Right, because Robens, what you guys went through last year, you still can apply that to life, because life is it's the same thing. You have your ups and downs, professionally, individually, but it's how you bounce back. And so you could take last season and your time at Southern University, it was positive, and you could take it to the next level.
Yeah, one thing one of my uncles, he's a businessman. One thing he always says, don't look at what looks like your losses as a negative thing. Just look at it as a learning process, right? So I'm sure there's things that we could have done differently, but at the end of the day, we can just, like you said, see it as a learning process for life and try to help us. As young men also, like there's some of us, it definitely hit hard, honestly. I'm sure, with the coaching and stuff, the things that happen. But you live, you learn. So we just took it as a learning process and just keep moving.
And Charles and Willa, one thing else I'm impressed about him, because on social media, I try not to be on there a whole lot, but I am on there, and just Robens still, when someone commits to the football program, he reaches out to him, and I see him, helping out whichever way he can. That's remarkable, and that's leaving your mark on Southern University after your eligibility is up. So I just want to say thank you. I see you now, still positive. Not only Southern University, but trying to land on the collegiate level as well.
Yeah,
so you ought to be commended for that.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much. I mean, I love every school, honestly. Even Auckland State, I know I had to stay at Auckland State as well. I love.
Yeah, Charles, take your head up.
I love it. Yeah, everything happens for a reason, and I still got great relationship with the coaches and the staff at Auckland as well. I spoke to Coach Fred, I believe, a couple of weeks ago, like working to try to get them a punter over there at Auckland. So I still got good relationship. I never try to burn bridges in the city. you learn in life. That I know things didn't work out at Alcorn. I didn't finish my career there, which wasn't my intent. I wanted to finish my career at every time you go for 4 years. You don't go for a year or two. Like every single time you commit somewhere, you plan to be there for as long as you can. Unfortunately, it didn't end how we wanted, but that's one thing for sure. Like I kept it professional. I stayed in contact with the coaches. I still got great contact with them, and with me playing, stop playing college football, I still want to leave my mark, honestly, because I remember getting recruited out of high school. It was really tough. Getting coaches' attention, because you gotta understand that a lot of us trying to play college football. A certain amount of guys that's gonna make it. You know what I'm saying? So I want to use my relationship with those coaches and to try to get those athletes to college. So that's the plan. It's not a coach per se. It's just but reviewing those guys' films. Like I know what it takes to be a Division One football, not just Division One, but a college student athlete. So I will do what I can, use my resources to try to get those guys into college football, and especially Southern University, which is that's where I graduated. So.
Now, with that being said, now that your eligibility is up, now you can offer your opinions on different topics. So on this show, we do that as well.
Definitely.
And now I'm going to involve Wheeler and Charles back with this. Texas Southern hires a new football coach. You interacted with Texas Southern football players. And then also Andrew Body finds a new football home. Give us your perspective on Texas Southern finally now hiring a football coach.
I'm gonna keep it professional, but honestly, I thought it took longer than I expected. Honestly, if I'm being honest, I mean, good thing I guess I'm not the AD at Texas Southern, because if I was,
we'll leave that to Wheeler from the AD.
Good thing I'm not the AD over there, because I mean, I felt like it was a no-brainer, honestly, if I was to choose a guy like Coach McNair. I mean, with the history that he has, I mean, he's a winner. That's one thing for sure. Like I remember my last game at Alcorn. Not when I was playing at Alcorn. When Southern played against Alcorn, I spoke with Coach McNair for about 5 minutes. I mean, he's a great guy. I love playing for Coach McNair. Honestly, I thought he had a wonderful resume. So I thought he was going to get no-brainer when it comes to hiring at Texas Southern. But unfortunately, they had other plans. But for Andrew Body, honestly, that dude is an athlete. I remember my first year when we played. It was Southern versus Texas Southern. This dude literally put the team on his back, and I was excited. I was excited for him. Honestly, I spoke to him yesterday. I texted him yesterday. I told him congratulations. We were talking for a little bit, and I mean, I'm excited to see what those young men continue to do, and the SWAC. Honestly, I'm glad he's still in the SWAC, because he did have a couple offers outside the SWAC. So I'm glad we were able to keep the talent in the SWAC and try to keep bringing the SWAC up and stuff.
Well, Charles and Wheeler, we kind of talked about it in our number one. Robens at Alabama State. I think that really helps Alabama State tremendously, particularly on the offensive side, because they kind of had their struggles like some other teams in the conference. I'm not ready to say it puts them number one. I wouldn't do that. But as far as him at Alabama State, do you see it as a good fit?
Definitely, honestly. I mean, I felt like Alabama State, the only thing they were, not the only thing, but one thing they were missing was the offensive edge, right? I mean, he's gonna bring it. I've always felt Alabama State is really good defensively. So, I mean, Andrew Body, honestly, I feel like he has the ability to help change the offense to get them where they need to be. Honestly, I think it's gonna be a good competition with them. And okay, well, we got to see where FAMU goes from now, though. I mean, yeah. So we just got to see. Yeah. We have to see where FAMU goes from now, because FAMU was a tough team to beat. Honestly, I felt like they were in the league of their own last year, and we'll see what happens with the coaching change now. But if FAMU does fell off a little bit, so we'll see. It might be for the East. It might be, who knows? It might be Alabama State. We'll see.
We'll see. Well, now I'm going to add this. Now I'm really involved, Wheeler Brown, the AD. You're a student athlete, and A lot of times on this show, Robens, we talk about the decisions and the decision makings of the AD, and sometimes I think we have to sit back. And I know for myself personally, what do the student athletes think about the decisions that AD makes? Sometimes the political aspect that comes into it. Does the student athlete wonder, in your opinion, why don't they ask us what we think more about some of these decisions, like a coach, the transfer portal, all of that? Kind of give us your thoughts on the student athlete. Do y'all consider that no one really kind of asks you guys what you think is best for you guys?
Honestly, I wish it was like that. Because let's be honest, when the whole coaching change out happened with Southern University, right? With Coach Dooley and ended up getting fired and stuff. I remember it was a sad day, honestly, especially for me because I, I love Coach Dooley. I'm not gonna lie, I love Coach Dooley. I had a great time, good relationship with him. So when the whole thing happened, I remember I can't discuss everything that had happened in the meeting, but I felt like I wish we had a little bit more say so, honestly, because honestly I feel like, to me, I felt they should have let him at least finish the last game. Just let us ride out with him. But the thing is, honestly, I have a great relationship with all those coaches. So as much as I felt bad that Coach Louis got fired, but honestly, I felt like it wasn't all on him, right? It wasn't all on him. It's on us too. I know at the end of the day, those coaches, they have a lot of stress and to win and stuff, but it's on us players as well to go out there and execute what the coaches need us to execute. Honestly, I don't feel like we executed at the highest level, honestly. So it's not all on him. But at the end of the day, though, I wish we got a little say so when it comes to the hiring stuff. But I was happy as well because my specialist coordinator, which is Coach Graves, he ended up getting the head coaching job. So although I was mad, Coach Dooley got fired. But I was also excited Coach Graves got the job as well. So I guess he was a little sad then happy at the same time, you know what I'm saying? But like you said, though, I wish we did get a say so when it comes to hiring for stuff. Because at the end of the day, we're the one that have to go out there and play. Without us athletes going out there and play, there's no football. I'm just saying. But so it's that's not.
And Carlos, I like to interject. I like to interject. A lot of times, while it may appear that the student athlete has no voice, I would kind of disagree with that. I think they do have a voice, but I think the major thing is that they are oblivious to all of the little things that are going on within the program. So there are a lot of things that they're not privy to, in terms of the decision making process, in terms of, what the AD or the athletic administration uh, is up to, or the reason why they make, the decisions that they make, that sort of thing. And a lot of times, from an AD's point of view, there's only so much you can delve into in terms of letting student athletes know exactly what's going on within the program. I mean, but you want them to know that they do have a voice. Yeah, I mean, because as Robens was saying, without them, there's no us. And so there'll never be a doubt about that at all. At the end of the day, you hope that that trust factor is high, and that the student athlete trusts the athletic administrators to make the best decision that's going to be for them ultimately. But from an athletic administration point of view, the student athlete is a piece of that particular puzzle. And there's so many pieces to that puzzle that go into that decision making process. And, I don't know that, you equate like this is 20%, this is 30%, this is 50%, that sort of thing. From an athletic administration point of view, you got to take all that, stir it in a pot, and hopefully come out with the right decision at the end of the day.
And I understand that point. I understand both perspectives, at the end of the day, is there an open door policy where, student athletes can come and talk to the AD?
It's got
And
to be.
right. And wouldn't it be imperative that you let them in on the things that you can, not everything, but the things that they can, just that communication?
Oh, definitely. You definitely have to. There's no doubt about that. No doubt about that at all. Because, the only way that you're going to to feel the temperature of your programs is through your student athletes. They're the ones that's going to sit down with you and tell you exactly what's going on in the programs, how they feel about, the way that they're being treated, that sort of thing. If there are any violations or anything going on within the programs, 9 times out of 10, Carlos, you're going to find out about it because a student athlete brought it to the table or said something about it.
Open door
Because,
policy.
we all know coaches are going to be very protective, that sort of thing and stuff. And, they're not going to do anything to, damage their standing in your eyes or anything like that. But you find for the most part, the kids are going to pretty much kind of tell it like it is. And, you welcome that and you want that, from them. So it always behooves you as an administrator to keep an open door policy, to where the kids feel that they can walk up to you at any time and, talk to you about XYZ, that sort of thing. And they know, Mr. Brown's got an open door policy, and they spread the word. You got a problem, got an issue, you need to go on in and talk to Mr. Brown about it, that sort of thing. And so, those things are very, very important, Carlos, no doubt.
Yeah. And that's why I brought it up. And Charles, will get you in here. We had a question in the chat room, Robens, Mr. Beauplan. Are you considering a coaching career? If is that something you thought about?
Most definitely. Honestly, I mean, I would love to coach one day, maybe later down the road. But never. So we'll see where God leads me, obviously. And if I was to do so, I mean, obviously right now, like I love SWAC football. Honestly, I love SWAC football. So that I would love, if I was to do so, it would be somewhere in the SWAC, just because I'm not gonna lie, I enjoy seeing the SWAC elevate, seeing the SWAC getting better. Not just Southern University. So I can see I'm very active on social media when it comes to Twitter and stuff like that. And I don't just talk about Southern University. I talk about other schools,
right?
Just because I would love to see the SWAC elevate and get to a level where, we all feel proud about that. We're like, yo, we brought this up there. You know what I'm saying? So anything that I can do, honestly, anywhere on this, that would be exciting for sure. Especially Southern University, though. I mean, we're the standard, so.
Yeah. Well, I would agree with that. But Charles, go ahead.
Well, Rubens, I have to say, you've heard this: time heals all wounds, right? And so over a period of time, I've had my wounds healed. So, Rubens, you and I are good. I was kind of wondering, would we be good? We weren't until we are now good. So we are good. I want to ask you about that Southern Alcorn game at Alcorn. That was one of the games of the year.
Last year, right, Charles?
Yeah.
Oh, that was tough.
Talk about that, just the atmosphere. I mean, there was a lot of hype and build up. A guy, Keenan Leachman, who was recruited by Southern, didn't recruit him.
I don't like
a big game. Talk a little bit about that atmosphere, just coming back to Spinks Chasm Stadium. That was one of the big games of the year.
I honestly, I was excited. I'm not gonna lie. Before the season even started, but that was the game. I was like, I can't wait for this game. Every game is important, but I circled that game. If I'm being honest, I circled that game. I'm like, that's the game I was excited about. And honestly, the coaches knew it and they felt it, because the week of that game, I remember I was probably the most energetic. You probably never seen a punter be most energetic, but I was the most energetic guy on that field. And the coaches felt it, and I remember before the game started. That's one thing for sure. Like where I feel like Coach Graves gonna excel as at the head coaching position because he's approachable. He knows how to instill confidence in guys, right, and make you feel calm, honestly. Because at the end of the day, we all go out there to be great, honestly. You don't go in the field like, you know what, I'm gonna suck today. You know what I'm saying? We all go in the field and try to be great. So I remember he can see it, the fire in my eyes, and he didn't want me to feel like I had this thing where I had to put you know what I'm saying, the team, because obviously you feel like you do so much, right? But you really don't. As a punter, you just go out there, you just punt the ball, do your part. And you can see it. I remember the pre-game, I was going out there trying to punt the ball 60, 70 yards. But he's just warm up. Like, that was just warm. He's like, the game haven't started yet. He's like, but again, you know what I'm saying? So just because I was so excited and ready to go. And I remember Coach Powell, like, I remember when I was walking on the field and stuff, going to warm up, I didn't even say anything to none of the other coaches. I remember I saw him, I didn't even say hi to them or whatever, just because I wanted to be Auckland so bad. And I was punting the ball over the end zone, warm up, just funny and far. And I remember Coach Graves took back to me. He's like, "Hey man, like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Slow it down." Because I wanted it, he just slow it down. And then I at this time I was like, that is true. I was like, hey, let me just be me, right? Be me. Don't have to do anything crazy. Unfortunately, the game didn't how we wanted to, but I'm proud to say though, I had a really great game that game. I remember I had a really great game that game. That was just me personally. And I was like, I did what I wanted to do, honestly. Because the turnover. I remember the first punt.
Yeah.
I really thought we had him, honestly. After that, I was like, yeah, we got him. We got him. Because I remember the first one, fumble, we covered, yep. we went ahead and just caught the ball. We went up first. I was excited, honestly, because I remember that was a struggle for us, honestly, like to score first, and we did. We scored first, and but that Keenan Leachman guy, honestly, I don't know what's wrong with him. He ended up getting 2 picks against us. I don't like this guy till this day. I'm just playing.
I understand the situation, and unfortunately, the position you play individually, you're punting a lot. That means the offense is struggling. Mm-hmm. But talk about Brandon Braxton, Griffin. He had a field goal against Texas Southern, 54 yards. Said all this to say this. Special teams are so important. They lose your ball game, they can win your ball game. But just talk about your teammates, Braxton and Griffin, how special they were.
Honestly, that's the thing, though. When it comes to special teams, like you said, you win and you can lose your special team as well. But one thing Coach Griffin always tell us is, don't be the reason we lose the game. Like, he always tells us that it was a good time when special teams really don't be the reason that the team lose. So, but even though he put the pressure on us to perform well, but he also instilled the confidence where he's just not always just strict, but sometimes big jokes with us. You know what I'm saying? Our special teams, I'll say 80% of the of just going out there and play, it's all mental. It's all mental. So there's a lot of guys you see that have the talent but we get in the field, he doesn't perform as well when it comes to special teams, right? That's because you're on your head so much. You want to look great, and you go out there, you don't do as well as you want. And but it comes with, before the season even started, I remember we just, everywhere we go, we together, me, Braxton, and Josh, and also we have a young guy, and Jaden Dominguez. He's a young guy as well. We try to keep him on, like, if you look in the game, every single time in the sideline, we all together. We're always together in the same track. But you might see it, you think it's little, but it's the little things that matter, honestly. It's the togetherness. I mean, everything we did was together. We had apartments together, all these things. So when it comes to the field, we just go out there, do our jobs, and see. I remember when that 54 yards against Texas Southern, it was weird because it's like we knew he was gonna go in. Because I remember that was the best snap I've ever seen Braxton snap, honestly. Best snap. And we were going against the wind. That's a tough kick. So you're talking about 54 yards. With the wind, that's even tough. Against the wind, that's even tougher, right? Mm-hmm. And I remember the perfect snap. I didn't even have to spin the laces, caught the ball, put it down. I look at the ball, I'm like, dude, I don't even have to spin it. So all I did was did this, and I just put it down, and all I heard was the boom. Like, bro, ain't no way this dude just blast that ball like that. It gives the win. That's a great kick. That was an amazing. That's one of the best kicks I've ever been a part of. Honestly, I mean, 54 yards against the win is amazing.
Yeah.
You know, I was just shocked, to be honest with you, because, you know, tough situation, a long field goal, and to get it done, and then the stadium just erupts. So saw how we talked about it earlier. Although the goals you weren't able to reach, but there were some things within the season that you can look back on and years from now. Hey, I was a part of that, and we overcame. That was a tough ball game because Texas Southern really,
yes,
you know, played. Put it this way, played well, and I'm sure they thought they had it.
That they did. I'm not gonna lie, because I remember they were celebrating already, even when we were doing the kick. I remember I looked in the sideline, and then there was a dude in the field. He was talking the whole time to me.
He's not gonna make it. Yeah, he's not gonna make it. Yeah.
He like, hey yo, you're not gonna catch the ball. I'm like, bro. I look at him, and then at the end of the day, like I wanted to say something back, but at the end of the day, we just gotta go out there and do our job. So I looked. I didn't say nothing back. I was just go ahead and do my job. But they thought they were the game. Honestly, I don't think nobody except for us thought he was gonna make the game because he was against the win of 54.
Wow.
That's the thing, against the win. So that was a huge moment, honestly. I think it's a huge confidence booster for Josh as well, going for next year. Now he knows he can make any kick, honestly. Against the win, with the win, he's making all of them.
You're absolutely right. Well, we got about 5 minutes left on this week's edition of the Carlos Brown Show. Visiting with Robens Beauplan, former punter for Southern University. Now we'll switch gears if we can. Robens, do you have an NFL team you follow?
The Ravens. Go, baby.
Wait a minute. Charles, is this a conspiracy? I didn't know this. Well, with that,
hey,
well, Charles, your team is still in the they are in the playoffs. My team is not, so I'll just say this: Ravens, number one team in the NFL right now. Do they get it done?
Yeah. And we're not like the Cowboys, you know. They think like every year, the year for them. So,
Rubens, we were good. Rubens, we were good. I had forgiven you. I had moved on, and now you're back in the zone. I'm a Rams fan. Ravens and Rams in the Super Bowl. I would love that. I'd love to get you on if that happens.
Hey, that's not happening.
Yeah, I would love to make that happen. Rubens, you were good until you just said that.
Pat Riley's calling me. He doesn't like those odds with the Rams. But to be honest, Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, a tough defense. I guess if you had a power ranking right now, guys, they are number one. Now, 2 and 3, there will be some debates and discussions about that. Yeah. But big game tonight, Kansas City and Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Kansas City.
I got Miami.
Their mantra, Miami, kind of new on the block and a lot of talent. Can they go into play Kansas City and Robens? Can Miami go in there and win tonight at Kansas City?
I'm rooting for Miami, but I don't think it's gonna happen. Yeah, I'm rooting for Miami, but I don't think it's gonna happen though.
Carlos, I don't know if you see this. You probably don't. It's 0 degrees forecasted in Kansas City.
I saw that.
Zero, -30 wind chill.
And in Buffalo.
It's over.
They're Florida boys. They're not used to that. I'm not gonna lie. Not used to that.
Yeah.
Different ball game.
Gonna be rough.
Yeah.
Good luck to them. But I'm gonna be rooting for Miami though, honestly, because I do like.
I am as well. Yeah.
So, but will it happen? I don't know. I don't think so.
San Francisco and the Ravens. Yes, we got 2 minutes left on this week's edition of the Carlos Brown Show?
I think that's what it's going to be at the end of the day. You know, my only downfall is that anytime the Ravens have a week off, when it's time to play again, they start a little sluggish.
Rusty.
So I'm really worried about that. Regardless of who they're playing come next week, I'm worried about them getting off to a sluggish start.
Yes.
Yeah, but if they're on all cylinders, Carlos, they're tough out.
Definitely.
There's no doubt about that. You know, I don't see a quote unquote real weakness there. You know, unless Lamar's having an off day and he's slinging it all over the place or just trying to do too much. I just think they got all the pieces there right now.
And we add
I think they shored up the receiver spot, you know, and got some adequate, better than adequate receivers now. And I just think they're just going to be a tough out all the way around.
Charles, we got less than a minute left. Quickly.
I have no comment at this time. We'll have another discussion next week about this.
Maybe next year, Charles. Maybe next year.
We don't have enough time on this edition of the Carlos Brown Show to get into that.
Maybe next year.
On that note, I want to thank all of the guests on today's show: Robens Beauplan, Willa Brown, Coach Vann Pettaway. I want to thank producer emeritus Melanie with a great bang-up job as well. Don't forget, like, share, hit the notification button for Black College Sports Network and the Carlos Brown Show. Again, coming up, as I look on my charts here, Morehouse and Allen at 2 p.m. Eastern Time is coming up. Until next Saturday. Another edition of the Carlos Brown Show right here on the Black College Sports Network. Peace and God bless.